Hello, my friends. I hope you're all doing well today. Mercury Retrograde is just about done. The Pisces New Moon has just passed, and we have entered its shadow phase now. It has been one absolutely difficult ride for some of us. Especially if you are Pisces, especially if you've gone through some harsh things in this past winter, this past season. But right as spring comes as well, you might be noticing that things turn around in seemingly miraculous ways. But rest assured that it's not anything random. It's not anything for free. If you're noticing this, you're noticing it because you have gone through trial and tribulations. You have paid the price. You've done your work. And that's what the result begins to show. Huge, sufficient, powerful change. So let's get into the cards and see what we can see. There might be something good for you and me. It's important that whatever good comes your way, that you maintain a course of change that you have initiated during the last phase of Mercury Retrograde. So we're talking the past 2 weeks or so. Maintain course. I know the temptation might seem incredibly pulling, incredibly drawing to just, dip your toe back into an old way, to do something that you have promised to give up, and not promised in a way where you say you're going to quit something or stop doing something, you're going to change course, and then you kind of half-heartedly do it, and a couple of days later you end up relapsing, I guess you could say would be the right word. But you end up doing it again. And then the cycle repeats, and the lesson isn't quite ready to be learned at that given point. But this time, that scratch in your gut should be showing you something of a different path, something a little more deeply rooted to the point where you somehow have the wherewithal and the strength to just brush aside the temptation to fall back into an old way. Which is why it is most important this time, particularly during the upcoming era, as spring begins, as the Aries season begins, that you stay the course. So you have here the Five of Wands, the Two of Wands, and the Seven of Pentacles. We will clarify just for good measure. But what we want to address, moreover, is that you stood your ground, you held to your dreams, and now your growth comes in like a beautiful garden. You've planted your seeds, you've watered the garden, you've tended to the garden, and now you get what you're getting. No, that didn't fall out right. You may have noticed, particularly, as I mentioned before, that the past couple of weeks, week or 2 weeks or so, has been exceptionally more difficult than any other part of the retrograde season, and certainly any other part of what has been happening earlier throughout the winter. But what you want to make absolute sure of is that, what I want to make absolute sure to you of that is that the past week, the past 2 weeks, are sort of the death throes, as it were, of Mercury Retrograde. The final test to see if you have what it takes, to see if you've done your training and you've truly meant it, done your inner shadow work. And if you have, congratulations on your promotion. Let's draw it and let's see what we got. Okay, you I can take. Oh, two I can take. Oh, cool. Uh-huh. Uh-huh. Where's that last one? No. It's also important to maintain a balance of spirit and of regular 3D life. You don't want to be the kind of a person who ends up throwing themselves so deep into the spirit that they end up becoming sort of useless in the real world, in the 3D world. Neither do you want to dedicate yourself so much to the 3D world that you become closed-minded and unaccepting of anything that the ethers have to share. There is a good quote, "Do not be so heavenly minded that you're not earthly good." Beautiful. Let us begin. So, with the Five of Wands, it shows a deep grounding for transformation. As I've said, you've put it in your mind that you want to do something different. You don't want to live the same way that you've been living. You want something better because there's something inside of you that pushes and does not let you rest. You could be beat, exhausted. You could be down on the ground from your day to day, but there's still something inside you that forces you to get up, move, get going. That's the kind of discipline and the desire and the passion that actually initiates change to begin with. And so it does cause transformation. Now you set your goals in motion, but you do certainly, as anybody does, need to take time to stop, pause, reflect, gather the introspection necessary, do the meditations necessary to follow the way, the direction of where the right path is. You know, if you're lost, back in the days, you look at an actual paper map. Today you open your GPS, but still, if you're lost, you take a little pause, you open up, and you look. This is where I gotta go. You're going away from pain, from the suffering that your last cycle caused you, whether that's people, like a relationship, a loved one, parents, siblings, friends. Whether that's business that treated you poorly, that was just a thorn in your side, that bled you out dry. Whether it's anything that took away from your light and energy, siphoned everything away in a vampiric fashion, it caused pain. You turn your back to it, and you look to better days. You look to the high places. The high places meaning your dreams, to what you must do to have your dreams come true. And pairing these together, we come to the Seven of Pentacles, which is watching all of the beauty begin to flourish for the great sacrifices you've made and the efforts you've put in, the sleepless nights, the crying nights, the nights where you screamed out to the ethers, why me? What did I do? It shouldn't be this way. Why am I going through so much pain like this? Trust that it's because you're going to something greater. And now that this card is revealed, its clarifier is take it easy. Give yourself a little break. You have fought the good fight. It's time to rest for a bit. There's going to be many more battles yet to come. You take care.